Today we are going to start with atomic structure. Atomic structure. Okay. You must have studied this chapter in chemistry in 11th, right? Yes or no? Hello. You must have studied this chapter in chemistry in 11th. Yes or no? Say yes, sir. Say yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. So refer 11th class chemistry copy. Okay, come back to the topic. That was a joke. The point is, atomic structure means we now want to know what exactly happens inside atom. Okay. So before getting into that, let us get to know the historic background. Everyone, please keep your mics on mute. Somebody's mic is unmuted. Please put it on mute. Okay. So first we need to know the historic background. Earlier, people used to think that atom is the smallest part of substance and nothing can be smaller than that, and that's why the word atom was given. Okay, that word atom was given by John Dalton. Name atom was given by John Dalton. Okay, and that itself means undivided. That itself means undivided. So atom means undivided. That means something that means something which can't be which can't be divided further, or there can't be anything smaller than that. Okay, so this was Dalton's theory. So according to Dalton, atom is the smallest entity of element. Okay, then came Thomson, Sir J.J. Thomson. Okay, so Mr. J.J. Thomson gave plum pudding model. This is very interesting. Plum pudding model of atom. So basically, according to Thomson, atom can be divided further, or we can go inside atom because there is something inside the atom. Okay, and that model which was given by Thomson is called plum pudding model. So according to Thomson, atom is made up of solid positively charged substance. Atom is made up of solid positively charged substance in which electrons are embedded. Electrons are embedded to make it electrically neutral. Okay, so let us write that according to according to Thomson, according to Thomson, atom is made of solid positively charged substance, positively charged substance in which electrons are embedded. Electrons are embedded to make it electrically neutral. Okay. So it is exactly the same way as if plums are there in pudding. Okay. That's why this model is also called plum pudding model. Okay. This can be visualized as or understood as this can be understood as this can be understood as plums in pudding. Plums in pudding. That's why this model this model is also called plum pudding model. Plum pudding model. This model is also called plum pudding model of atom. Okay. So according to this, pay attention everyone. Atom is solid. Most of the part is positively charged, in which electrons are embedded as if plums are there in the pudding, or seeds are there in a watermelon, or elaichis are there in laddus. Okay, so depending on your taste, if you like pudding, you can focus on plum pudding model. If you are more into fruits, you can talk about watermelon model. Or if you are into laddus, you can talk about laddu model. All right. But this was the Thomson's model. This was not much widely accepted because there was an experiment performed by Rutherford's students. Okay. Rutherford, those two students who were doing PhD with Rutherford, they did some experiment, and based on that, Rutherford gave his atomic model. So first of all, alpha particle scattering experiment. Alpha particle, alpha particle scattering experiment, because that was the basis. Scattering experiment. Okay, so this was the basis of Rutherford's model. So there were two persons, Geiger and Marsden. Geiger and Marsden. Okay, these two performed experiment. Geiger and Marsden bombarded a very thin gold foil, and how much thin it was? Micron size. Okay, 10 to the power minus 6 meters. So it was that thin. So Geiger and Marsden bombarded a very thin gold foil with alpha particles and collected the experimental data or observation. Okay, so this was done by Geiger and Marsden. Okay, now what was the observation and how it all happened? Let us pay attention to that. So suppose this is an alpha particle gun. Alpha particle gun means alpha particles are coming out of this. Okay, and here there is a thin gold foil. Thin gold foil. Okay, now keep in mind that alpha particles are very small, very small. So now as these are very small, there can be nobody like Dhoni who is, wicket keeping beyond this. Okay, and who is, catching all the alpha particles. That's not possible. So what was done? This whole thing was surrounded by zinc sulfide screen, ZNS screen. Okay, so this whole thing was captured by that. Now, what is the purpose of keeping zinc sulfide screen, or why zinc sulfide was taken for this? Because zinc sulfide has the property of creating illuminance when charged particles collide with that. Okay, so if charged particles collide with zinc sulfide, it creates illuminance or fluorescence. All right, and because of that, it was being used. So this is alpha particle gun. What was the system behind? That is not essential for you. Alpha particle gun. Okay. What you should remember is that alpha particles are being ejected from this, and these were bombarded on the thin gold foil. Just to again tell you, alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus twice He4 plus 2. This is alpha particle. Now that means its mass is 4 times the mass of proton, and charge on it is 2 times the mass of charge of proton. So it is doubly charged proton with 2 extra neutrons. Okay. Okay. Now observation due to this experiment. So what was being observed? Okay. So point number 1, large number of alpha particles passed undeviated. Large number of alpha particles passed undeviated. Large number of alpha particles passed undeviated, indicating that maximum part of atom is hollow and empty. Now this is really very important. According to Thomson, be very clear, atom is not hollow and empty. Atom is solid and positively charged. But according to this observation, most of the alpha particles passed undeviated. You can pass undeviated only if the thing through which you are passing is empty. Are you getting it? Suppose if you are passing through a big hall, then you can run away through the hall. Correct? But if that hall is full of sand, you cannot pass through it. Can you imagine yourself? If you want to run through a hall which is full of sand, you cannot run through it. You cannot pass through it. You can pass only if the hall is hollow and empty. So this was the inference through this first point. Now the second point. A very few alpha particle. Everyone please keep your mics muted. A very few alpha particle and how many? 1 out of 8,000. 1 out of 8,000 got deviated by 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle. Now if suppose alpha particle is getting deviated by 90-degree, that means something is present within the atom which is deviating it by an angle of 90-degree. Now such deviation is possible only if something positively charged is there in the atom. Okay. Otherwise deflection will not happen. Okay. Very few alpha particles, very few alpha particles, 1 out of 20,000, 1 out of 20,000 retraced its path back, its path back and got deviated by got deviated by 180 degree. Now this was really very strange for them. Why it was strange? Because they were not expecting that alpha particle will be bombarded on a thin gold foil. See, it's just a gold foil, that too of 10 to the power minus 6 meter, and alpha particle is going like a bullet and reflecting back. Can you imagine a bullet reflecting through a piece of paper? Can you imagine that? Same was their experience, that it is like, just by a piece of paper something is reflecting back. That means something extremely dense, positively charged and solid is kept at the center of atom. Okay, this indicates that, let me use a different color. This indicates that something extremely dense, something extremely dense, positively charged, positively charged, something extremely dense, comma, positively charged, something extremely dense, comma, positively charged, and very small, very small. How do we get to know very small? Because 1 out of 20,000, okay, and very small is kept, or you can say situated, is situated at the center of atom, center of atom. Later it was called as, later it was called as nucleus. Later it was called as nucleus. Okay. So these were the experimental finding of Giger and Marsden, and in which they bombarded a thin gold foil with alpha particles. Okay. All right. Good. Now, Rutherford's atomic model. Rutherford's atomic model. Rutherford's atomic model. So what Rutherford did? Rutherford gave his atomic model based on Rutherford gave his atomic model. Rutherford gave his atomic model based on experiment performed by experiment performed by Giger and Marsden. Rutherford gave his atomic model based on experiment performed by Giger and Marsden. Okay, so what he did, pay attention. He created, or assumed that something called nucleus is there, and around the nucleus electrons are revolving in circular orbits. This is not looking like circle. That's fine. So this is electron, this is electron. Okay, so pay attention. So according to Rutherford, Rutherford or Rutherford's model, एक ही बात. According to Rutherford's model, number one, entire positive charge of atom is situated at the center. Entire positive charge, entire positive charge of atom is situated at the center. Okay, so entire positive charge of atom is situated at the center. Number two, almost entire mass, almost entire mass, I'm using word almost, be very clear. Almost entire mass of atom is also situated at the center of atom. Okay. Number three, electrons revolve around the nucleus. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. Number four, necessary centripetal force. Necessary centripetal force. Necessary centripetal force for the circular motion. For the circular motion of electrons. Necessary centripetal force for the circular motion of electrons is provided by electrostatic force between electrons and nucleus. Electrons and nucleus. Okay, this part is important. Electrostatic electrons and nucleus. Okay, so pay attention. Again, I'm drawing nucleus, and let's say this is electron, this is speed v, and this is radius r. So k ze square upon r square is equal to mv square by r. Okay, k into ze into e, that becomes k q1 q2 upon r square. Okay, so that gives us, pay attention everyone, or let it be like this, y2. Okay, now the next thing, or let us talk further. Now this was the model which was given by Rutherford, right? People started asking questions when he presented his model, which is called Rutherford's model. Okay, Then people asked some questions. So what were the questions? Number one, that sir, electron is revolving around the nucleus. He said yes. He said, sir, electron is a charged particle. He said yes. So charged particle and circular motion is accelerated motion. He said yes. Then people ask questions, sir, if a charged particle performs accelerated motion, then it should emit EM waves, electromagnetic waves. He said yes. Then people said, sir, if it is emitting electromagnetic radiation, then ultimately what should happen? It should fall. It should fall in the nucleus following spiral path. Following spiral path. That should happen. He said yes, because as per the science available at that time, that should happen. Then people said, how it is not happening here? How it is not happening here? Your atom should be highly unstable. He had no answer. Okay, so let us talk about limitations of Rutherford's model. Limitation of Rutherford's model. Okay, so number one, electron being a charged object, being a charged object should emit EM waves, should emit EM waves while revolving around the nucleus, revolving around the nucleus, while revolving around the nucleus, and thus ultimately fall in nucleus, making atom highly unstable, highly unstable. Okay, highly unstable, which doesn't happen in reality, which does not happen in reality, which does not happen in reality. So this was point number one of limitation. Number two point of limitation. Now, as per this, when it is moving on spiral path, the release of energy should be continuous, correct? And when the release of energy is continuous, the spectrum obtained for atom should be a continuous spectrum, should be a continuous spectrum. But experimentally, it was found that the spectrum of atom is discrete, or you can say line spectrum. Okay. Again, there was no answer available with the Rutherford's theory. He could not answer. So spectrum of atom according to Rutherford's theory, should be continuous, but experimentally should be continuous as per Rutherford's theory, as per, ये लिखा है हमने, ठीक है, continuous. But currently, but experimentally, it was found that it was found that spectrum of atom is line. That spectrum of atom is line spectrum. Spectrum of atom is line spectrum. Full stop. Rutherford did not have answer to this also. Rutherford could not explain this as well. Rutherford could not explain this as well. So despite giving a flop atomic model, let me tell you, Rutherford was awarded Nobel Prize. Rutherford was awarded Nobel Prize despite giving a flop atomic model. Okay. Despite giving a flop atomic model, he was awarded Nobel Prize in Physics. Okay. It was that cheap commodity at that time. Easily available. Now let us talk about Bohr's modification in Rutherford's model. So Bohr came into picture and he said, "मैं ठीक करता है." So modification, Bohr's modification in Rutherford's model. Bohr's modification in Rutherford's model. Okay. So what was the Bohr's modification? Bohr actually modified the Rutherford's model using Planck's quantum theory. Okay. Bohr modified Rutherford's model using Planck's quantum theory. Quantum theory. Okay. Whenever you need to explain something big, use heavy words. Use heavy word. You sound like an intellectual. Okay. So what Bohr did, he used the Planck's quantum theory, okay, and explained the Rutherford model. Okay. So he gave three postulates for that. So Bohr gave three postulates for that. So Bohr's postulates. Listen very carefully and enjoy the jugglery of words. Number one. Okay. So number one, he said, an atom consists of very tiny positively charged nucleus. An atom consists of an atom consists of very tiny positively charged nucleus. Nearly the entire mass, nearly the entire mass of atom is concentrated in the nucleus. In the nucleus. Okay. Number 2. Now this part is very interesting. Electrons revolve electrons revolve around the nucleus. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbits. Fixed orbits called energy levels. Called energy levels. Okay, very interesting point. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbit called energy levels. So एक बढ़िया सा word दे दिया आपको, energy levels. Okay. Now what is special about this energy level? While revolving in energy level, while revolving in an energy level, while revolving in an energy level, electron does not emit energy. Electron does not emit energy. So when electron is in an energy level, it does not emit any energy. Okay. People ask why? Because it is energy level. Got it? One very interesting word he gave, and that is energy level. Okay. Now, further, if electron transits, if electron transits, if electron transits from one energy level to another, one energy level to another, okay, it absorbs or emits. It absorbs or emits a photon. It absorbs and emits a photon of energy equal to energy difference of two orbits. Now this is very important. As, listen very carefully, as in energy level energy is fixed, that's why you won't be finding that spiral like situation. Correct? Why? Because there is no continuous release of energy. While electron is in energy level, in same energy level, it is neither emitting energy nor absorbing energy. So you won't be finding continuous release of energy. So that continuous spectrum part is explained from here. And stability also, right? Second thing, how we are getting line spectrum. So how we are getting line spectrum? Because when electron transits from one energy level to another, so during this transit or absorb energy, and whatever is the release or absorb, only that much amount energy will be found as a line in spectrum. Okay, that's why we are getting line spectrum. Are you getting it, everyone? Third point, which seems very simple, but it is very interesting. Electron can revolve. Electron can revolve only in those orbits. Electron can revolve only in those orbits for which electron can revolve only in those orbits for which its angular angular momentum is is integral multiple of integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Okay, so this part is very interesting. Why very interesting? That it is not allowed for the electron to revolve anywhere and everywhere. Okay, it is not allowed for the electron to revolve anywhere and everywhere. Suppose this is nucleus, and if electron wants to revolve here or here or here, can it revolve anywhere? No, strictly no. So where can electron revolve? It can revolve only in those orbits for which its angular momentum is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Only in those orbits. Okay. So how are we deciding those energy levels? How are we deciding those energy levels? Those energy levels are decided based on this. Those energy levels are decided based on this. Are you getting the point? Okay. How we are getting energy level 1 or 2 or 3 and so on. So that is happening only due to integral multiple of 2 h upon 2 pi. So mvr, this is angular momentum, and that is equal to nh upon 2 pi. Okay, and here n can be 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 and so on. So here n can be 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is the Bohr's model. This is the Bohr's model. So now we are going to find various values based on Bohr's thing. So pay attention. Hence, so first was kze square upon r square is equal to mv square upon r. Okay, and here now I'm going to cancel this r by this r. So mv square is equal to kze square upon r. This is equation number 1. Number 2, also what is that? mvr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. This is equation number 2. So now if we are going to, we can find two things, one r and one v. So let me put, so putting r is equal to nh upon 2 pi mv in equation 1. So mv square is equal to kze square upon r. R is what? nh, and 2 pi mv goes here. So 1 v got cancelled. 1m got cancelled. So what do we get? V is equal to k into 2 pi into e square into z upon h n. Okay, so this becomes the value of V. When we solve this further by putting values, we get V is equal to 2.188 into 10 to the power 6 Z by N meters per second. Okay, V is equal to 2.188 into 10 to the power 6 Z by N meters per second. All right. All right. So this is the velocity of electron while it is revolving around the nucleus. Okay. Now, suppose if we would have kept the value of V, so putting R is equal to NH upon 2 pi. No, earlier we kept the value of R. This time let us put value of V. So putting V is equal to NH upon 2 pi mr in equation 1. So m into V square, H square N square upon 4 pi square M square R square. Okay. MV square is equal to NH upon 2 pi. NH upon 2 pi. Okay. Just a second. We are putting in which equation? Yeah, we are putting in this kZe square upon R. kZe square upon R. Just a second. That will be kZe square upon R. So this R got cancelled, and that gives us, pay attention, R is equal to kZe square into 4 pi square M square, okay, upon H square N square, or you can write it as R is equal to 4 pi square k M square E square into, we have made some mistake. N square should be on, N square is here only. Just a second. This R will go here, right? When R is going here, let me erase and write it again. Okay. Pay attention everyone. So if R comes here, it will be R is equal to 1m got cancelled. R is equal to H square into N square upon 4 pi square M k E square upon Z. Now it is correct. So that is this much. So R comes out to be, when we put the value of this, is 0.529 into N square upon Z angstrom. Okay. So let me call this as equation 3, and let me call this as equation 4. So equation 3 and 4 give, pay attention, equation 3 and 4 give velocity and radius of a velocity and radius of an electron in Bohr orbit. Bohr orbit. Please note, everyone. Please note. Please note. Farhan is saying, sir, the slide is lagging. And then Aman is clapping. Now it is still lagging, Farhan.
Yes, sir, the slide is lagging.
Farhan. Noted, everyone. Noted. Noted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before we move further, let us talk about energy also. Okay. Then we'll be solving questions. So energy of electron in Bohr orbit. Energy of electron in Bohr orbit. Okay. So energy of an electron consists of potential energy and kinetic energy. Energy of an electron consists of potential energy and kinetic energy. Energy of electron consists of potential energy and kinetic energy. So TE is total energy, is equal to PE plus KE. Okay. This is, let's say, equation number 5. Now PE will be nothing but minus K, or let's say, let me write it as K into Q1 ZE into Q2 minus E upon R. I have used the formula of K Q1 Q2 by R, and that comes out to be minus K Z E square upon R. Equation number 6. KE will be half M v square. Okay. Now, if you remember, if you see the value of mv square, the value of mv square is nothing but, pay attention here, mv square is kze square upon r. Can you see that? mv square is equal to kze square by r by equation 1. Remember? Let us put the value. So k is equal to half mv square is equal to half into kze square by r. This is equation number 7. So from 5, 6 and 7, from 5, 6 and 7, TE is equal to minus kze square upon r plus kze square upon 2r, and that will be TE is equal to minus kze square upon 2r. That is equation number 8. 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 Equation 8 indicates that equation 8 indicates that total energy of electron in atom is negative, hence it is a bound system. Hence it is a bound system. Now what does it mean by a bound system? That means even if electron wants to leave the atom, it cannot leave. It cannot leave. Why? Because its total energy is negative. So because electron's total energy is negative, it cannot leave the atom. Okay. Hence it is a bound system. That is, an electron cannot leave the atom by itself. An electron cannot leave the atom by itself. An electron cannot leave the atom by itself. Not possible. Okay. Understood? Because its total energy is negative. Now, if we want to know how much is total energy, so TE, if you put the value of R and everything, then you get TE is equal to minus 13.6 into Z square upon N square. This is equation number 9, and this is in EV, electron volt. Okay. So equation 9 gives energy of equation 9 gives energy of electron. Equation 9 gives energy of electron in an orbit. In an orbit. Okay. Please note everyone. Okay. Now, Before we move further, let me tell you one very interesting point, very important point. Bohr model is applicable only for single electronic species. Bohr model, so basically all these formula. Bohr model is applicable only for single electronic species. Okay. Now, what do you mean by single electronic species? Let me tell you very clearly. He plus, Li plus 2, Be plus 3, and so on. These are all single electronic species. That means in their outermost shell, they have one electron only. They have one electron only. Okay. Keep that thing in mind. Now, question. Find 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 the velocity of electron. Find velocity of electron in number 1 second orbit of H, number 2 third orbit of He plus, and third first orbit of Li plus 2. Please find, everyone. Please find. Hello, can you hear me? Hello,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me? All right. Please give me the answers. Abhida is saying 1.09 into 10 to the power 6, 1.45 into 10 to the power 6, 6.5 into 10 to the power 6. Darren is saying 0.94 into this. 10 to the power minus 6, right, Darren? Darren, I had just seen a miracle happening in front of my eyes. Minus 6 got converted into plus 6. Okay. Everyone, please pay attention. So, formula for velocity is 2.188 into 10 to the power 6 into z by n. So, see, this 2.188 into 10 to the power 6 is common for all three. Common for all three means all three questions. The only thing which is changing is z and n. So for first means second orbit of hydrogen. So for hydrogen, pay attention. Hydrogen के लिए z is 1 and n is equal to 2. Okay. So that will be 2.188 into 10 to the power 6 into z. Z is 1 by 2. Okay. And that will become 1.09 4 1.094 into 10 to the power 6 meters per second. Any doubt, any question in this, anyone? This was first. Similarly, for second, same 2.188 into. Now for third orbit of He, for He plus Z will be 2 and N is 3. So 2 by 3 of this. So 2.188 into 2 by 3. 2.188 into 0.67, and that comes out to be into 10 to the power 6 is also there. What is this? Into 10 to the power 6 into this. So that comes out to be 1.465 into 10 to the power 6 meters per second. This is coming out to be answer. How many of you got that? All right. Now third question. First orbit of Li plus 2. So V will be 2.188 into 10 to the power 6 into Li plus 2. Z is how much? 3. N is how much? 1. So 2.188 into 3 will be 6.564 into 10 to the power 6 meters per second. Right? Any doubt, any question in this, anyone? Any doubt, any question in this? Only 3-4 students are solving questions, and Abhita, Darren, Risaya, Ketan are those students. The rest are all sleepy. That's fine. IPQ. Find radius in each case. Find radius of orbit in each case. Okay, please find radius of orbit in each case. So you need to find radius for all three. Solve everyone quickly. These are easy questions. Solve quickly. Okay, everyone please pay attention. First, formula of R is 0.529 into n square upon z angstrom, correct? Now for first case, it is z is equal to how much? 1 and n is equal to 2. Okay, 0.529, z is equal to 1, so 1 and n is equal to 2. This is angstrom. So that comes out to be 0.529 into 4. 0.529 into 4. How much is that? People are saying 2.11 angstrom. All right. Now in second part, R is equal to 0.529. Value of n for second. Okay. So n is 3 and z is equal to 2. So 3 square upon 2. So that becomes 0.529 into 9 upon 2. And people are saying it is to 2.38. 2.38 angstrom. And in third case, R is equal to 0.529 n square. N is 1. No. N is 3. 3 है ना? N square.
N is 1.
N is 1. So N is 1 and Z is equal to 3. Just a second. Yeah, 1 square upon 3. So how much is the answer? 0.17. 0.176 to be more precise. All right. Understood, everyone? Any doubt, any question? Next. IPQ. Find energy of electron in each case. IPQ. Find energy of electron in each case. Find energy of electron in each case. Find. So answer of energy is minus 13.6 into Z square upon N square EV. So for first case, Z is equal to how much? 1 and N is equal to 2. So Z is equal to 1, N is equal to 2. Right? So answer will be E will be minus 13.6 into 1 square upon 2 square. So that comes out to be minus 3.4 EV, right? Now in second case, Z is equal to 2, N is equal to 3. So E is equal to minus 13.6 into N square. N square is 3 square upon Z is 2. कितना आया वैल्यू? No, 2 square. That comes out to be 6.04 EV. I have a doubt in this. Z is equal to 2 है, N is equal to 3 है. Am I right? N square upon Z. Yes. So 13 point this आपका वैल्यू 6.04 कैसे आ रहा है? Into Z square upon N square. Just a second. Yes. There is a mistake. 2 square upon 3 square over here. 2 square upon 3 square. Now it will be minus 6.04. Yes, Aryan, you are right. Number 3. Z is equal to N is equal to. So in third case, N is equal to 1. Z is equal to 3. Okay. So E is equal to, what is this? E is equal to minus 13.6 into Z square. That means 3 square upon 1 square. And that will be 122.4 EV. So you must have seen and noticed that these questions are very easy, straightforward and formula based. Very easy, straightforward and formula based. You just need to put values to get the answer. You just need to put values to get the answer, and which you can do easily. Okay. Okay, everyone. So that is enough for today. We'll study further in the next class. All right. All right.